Hey folks, before we jump into this tale, be sure to hit that subscribe button on my channel for more great stories. The family supper on Sunday at my folks' place was the spot where I discovered I hadn't been asked to my own siblings' nuptials. The location has restricted spots, my mom explained, handing over the beef without glancing my way. Tough decisions were necessary for the attendee roster. My sibling Olivia, 28, grinned from the opposite side of the spread. Her betrothal band, a 3-carat gem from her betrothed Ethan Whitaker, sparkled under the glow. It's truly elite. The Imperial Palace only handles 300 attendees for marriage celebrations. We needed to pick carefully. I'm Emily Harper, 33, and I dedicated the previous 10 years to creating a lodging dynasty. Though my relatives figured I was involved in somehow, they didn't realize that involvement meant possessing 47 upscale sites in 12 nations, including the Imperial Palace where Olivia's ceremony would occur. 300 folks is pretty choosy, I remarked gently, slicing my poultry. Well, Ethan's kin have numerous corporate contacts, my mother clarified. The Whitakers run that finance company in the city center. Quite prosperous. They're bringing their key patrons and our group. I inquired of my dad, Thomas Harper, who coughed lightly. Relatives, naturally. Your Aunt Linda, Uncle Mike, the relatives, and a few from our golf association. Olivia desired individuals who'd value the site's elegance. The Imperial Palace is meant to be amazing, Olivia enthused. Top-rated eatery. Stone surfaces everywhere, those splendid halls. Ethan's dad connects with a board member who secured our slot. It's usually booked ages ahead. I drank some water, remaining silent. Ethan's dad didn't connect with a board member. He'd contacted my area supervisor 3 months prior, insisting on a rushed reservation and tossing around irrelevant titles. My crew had obliged him regardless. It's our standard for every visitor. Emily won't care about skipping it, my sibling Lucas mentioned, grabbing extra veggies. At 30, he was employed at Dad's bookkeeping company and resided in the proper area with his spouse and pair of children. You're likely jetting off for business anyhow, correct? I do journey often. Precisely. Mom stated as though that wrapped it up. You're seldom present. And frankly, honey, this is a highly refined gathering. Ethan's relatives are. Well, they're accustomed to a particular degree of refinement. No insult, but overseeing lodgings isn't exactly like wealth management. I get it. You do. Olivia appeared eased. I feared you'd be hurt, but you understand. We require folks who'll blend in. Ethan's university pals are all thriving. His relatives are in money matters. His mom serves on 3 nonprofit panels. It seems like you've assembled quite the attendee selection, I commented. We have. She retrieved her device, flipping through images. Check out the site. Isn't it gorgeous? The rite will happen in the Blossom Courtyard, party in the Majestic Hall. We're featuring a 12-member ensemble brought in blooms, a 7-dish meal. Ethan's dad demanded the finest in all aspects. I viewed the pictures of my own establishment, the grounds my gardening staff cared for, the hall I directly supervised amid the upgrade 3 years back. It's lovely, I stated truthfully. The inn is providing us the executive apartment for the marriage evening, Olivia went on. Evidently, it's 30,000 square feet with a personal deck and secluded swim area. Can you picture it? I could picture it. I created that apartment. Very kind of them, I noted. Ethan's dad bargained it into the deal. He's skilled at obtaining what he desires. She stowed her device. Anyhow, I trust you're not insulted by the attendee choices. It's not targeted. We simply have constrained room. 300 individuals appears like ample room. For the appropriate individuals, my mother remarked sharply. This is Olivia's unique occasion. We aim to encircle her with achievement. What they implied was they aimed to encircle her with the look of achievement. The Whitakers possessed wealth. Ethan's dad operated a medium-scale finance outfit with roughly $200 million under management. Decent, but not extraordinary. My lodging enterprise, Harper International Resorts, was appraised at $8 billion. We'd become independent 5 years earlier after I'd acquired my starting backers. I held every site fully, plus the oversight firm, the booking setup, and a journey reservation service utilized by countless. My relatives believed I was an in-supervisor, perhaps a deputy supervisor. They lacked awareness I was the proprietor. When's the nuptials? I questioned. June 15th, 2 weeks from this weekend, Olivia glowed. I realize it's brief warning, but truly, with your agenda, you likely couldn't attend regardless. I'll review my schedule. Lucas chuckled. Emily, she just mentioned you're not requested. Don't turn this uncomfortable. I'm not turning anything uncomfortable. I'm simply interested in my siblings' marriage timing. Well, now you're informed, Mom declared quickly. Let's discuss another topic. Lucas, how's the fresh residence? The meal dialogue shifted. I completed my food quietly, checking messages on my device beneath the surface. My operations chief had forwarded the ultimate setups for the Whitaker-Harper nuptials. Deluxe Bundle Executive Apartment Incorporated. Overall expense $280,000. The Imperial Palace was my premier establishment. I'd acquired the Venerable in 8 years prior when it teetered on insolvency, poured $40 million into updates, and converted it into one of the nation's most desired locations. Each element, from the European stone in the restrooms to the glass fixtures in the halls, had been individually sanctioned by me. And in 2 weeks, my sibling would tie the knot there without realizing I possessed it. I motored back to my city center loft, another sight my relatives had never seen, and phoned my operations chief. Alex, it's Emily. The Whitaker nuptials at the Imperial Palace. I require the complete info. All is arranged. June 15th, 300 attendees, Majestic Hall, Executive Apartment, Deluxe Assistance Bundle. The kin have been insistent. How insistent? Mrs. Whitaker phoned 4 times today regarding the Bloom setups. Mr. Whitaker attempted to haggle extra offerings without extra charge. The fiancée dispatched her planner to examine the hall 3 times this week. I grinned. Provide them all they request. Hold back no cost. Even if they're challenging, particularly since they're challenging. I desire this to be the most impeccable occasion we've ever organized. Got it. Also, I ought to note they're inquiring about the possession. Mr. Whitaker wishes to express gratitude to the inn proprietor directly for fitting his reservation. Should I supply contact details? Not now. Let's maintain it as a revelation. The following 2 weeks flew by in a rush of commerce. I jetted to Singapore to conclude the acquisition of a specialty in network, then to London for a site oversight meeting. My aide managed 3 contacts from Olivia's nuptials planner with progressively ridiculous demands. Pale peacocks for the courtyard, a particular year of bubbly costing $800 each, tailored illumination in the hall. I endorsed all. The dawn of June 15th, I touched down at the exclusive flight hub in my firm's Gulfstream G650. My chauffeur greeted me on the runway. The Imperial Palace, Miss Harper. Yes, the proprietor's quarters. I'll be remaining overnight. The proprietor's quarters were distinct from the executive apartment. A secluded home on the highest level that I reserved for individual purposes. Wall-to-ceiling panes. Personal lift. Isolated access. None of the nuptials visitors would realize I was present. I reached at 3 p.m. The nuptials rite was set for 5, gathering at 7 o'clock. I observed from my quarters as suppliers completed last touches in the blossom courtyard beneath. Olivia showed up at 4 o'clock. A whirl of pale fabric and anxious vibe. My mother adjusted her locks. Ethan and his attendants assembled by the water feature, chuckling and snapping pictures. My relatives rejoicing without me. At 4:30, my operations chief rang. Miss Harper, we have an issue. What sort of issue? Mr. Whitaker is contesting the ultimate invoice. He's asserting we consented to add the peacocks and deluxe bubbly without extra fee. He's declining to settle the updated sum of $312,000. And what did our agreement detail? Foundation bundle of $280,000. All extras would be charged apart. He authorized it. Where is he currently? In the primary entrance with his spouse. He's insisting on talking to the proprietor. He's warning to halt the occasion if we don't lower the invoice. I glanced at my timepiece. 45 minutes till the right. I'll head down immediately. I switched into a fitted blue ensemble, something that conveyed command without flashiness, and rode my personal lift to the entrance. Mr. Whitaker positioned at the front desk, flushed and waving vigorously. His spouse seemed embarrassed. My operations chief remained composed, an expert next to them. I'm apologetic, Mr. Whitaker, but the proprietor isn't usually here. Then reach them by call. I'm not covering offerings we didn't consent to. Is there an issue? I inquired, nearing fluidly. Mr. Whitaker pivoted to me, his look disdainful. Who are you? Emily Harper. I possess the inn. His expression blanked. His spouse's gaze expanded in awareness. You possess you're the proprietor? Yes. Alex informs me there's a disagreement on the ultimate invoice. Yes. These extra fees, we didn't consent to them. I extracted my device, navigating to the agreement my legal group had transmitted. Per the agreement you authorized on May 1st, the foundation bundle was $280,000. Quote, any extra offerings, including but not restricted to deluxe drinks, unusual creatures, tailored illumination, or special bloom setups will be charged apart at regular prices. You authorized on page 6. I displayed him the electronic mark. His mark? I don't recall. You also contacted my crew 4 times to include offerings. The Peacocks solely were $12,000. The 1996 crew bubbly was $800 per unit. You ordered 40 units. Tailored hall illumination was $15,000. Should I go on? His spouse contacted his limb. Richard, we did request all those items. The invoice is $312,000, I stated evenly. Settlement is required prior to the rite starts. That's in 35 minutes. This is coercion. You're exploiting us since we can't stop now. You can definitely stop, I mentioned agreeably. In that scenario, you'll lose your advance of $50,000 per the termination provision you also authorized. Your 300 visitors will depart. Your offspring's nuptials will be spoiled. Or you can settle the agreed cost for the offerings you insisted on and enjoy the gathering of the year. Mrs. Whitaker had paled. Richard, just settle it. The visitors are coming. I want to converse with the overseer. I am the overseer. I'm also the proprietor. I'm also the individual who fitted your rushed reservation, your insists, and your kin's conduct over the past 2 weeks. I glanced at my timepiece. 33 minutes till the rite. Your decision. He retrieved his device with trembling fingers and contacted his financial institution. While he organized settlement, I spotted my mother coming through the primary doorway with Olivia. They were proceeding to the courtyard for last setups. My mother looked toward the entrance, then stiffened. She identified me. I observed the identification cross her features, bewilderment, then astonishment, then a hint of alarm. She clutched Olivia's limb, murmuring hastily. Olivia pivoted, her nuptials gown swishing, and gazed at me across the stone entrance. Emily. Her tone echoed. What are you doing here? I pardoned myself from the Whitakers and proceeded toward my relatives. Hello, Olivia. You appear stunning. But why are you here? You're not. You can't. I possess the inn, I stated plainly. My mother's features had lost all hue. You what? The Imperial Palace. I possess it. I've possessed it for 8 years. Olivia appeared as if I'd uttered in an unknown tongue. You possess this inn, this one and 46 others. Harper International Resorts. I'm the head and only proprietor. Ethan emerged appearing puzzled. Olivia, who is this? My sister, Olivia murmured. My sister possesses this inn. Your sister, the overseer. Proprietor, I amended. And technically boss. We've organized your nuptials here throughout the day. Your dad just settled the ultimate invoice. I pivoted to Mom, who appeared faint. You mentioned the site had restricted spots. 300 visitors. That's merely 47% capacity. The hall accommodates 640 folks. Emily, we didn't realize. You didn't realize because you never inquired. You presumed I labored in inns, not that I possessed them. Olivia's fingers trembled. You possess 47 inns. 47 sites? I mentioned, valued around $8 billion altogether. Ethan produced a choked noise. His dad's outfit handled 200 million. I possessed 8 billion. The executive apartment you're occupying? I appended. I created it. The Blossom Courtyard. I restored it. The stone surfaces. I selected them in Europe. Mom clutched my limb. Emily, please. We erred. If we'd realized, you'd have requested me? I questioned. Provided me one of those 300 seeks. You desired folks who appeared prosperous around Olivia. You permitted us to omit you, Olivia wept. You knew this was your in and uttered nothing. You mentioned I didn't blend in. I desired to observe if you'd spot the contradiction. I glanced at my timepiece. You have 28 minutes till the right. Repair your cosmetics. I pivoted to depart. Wait, Olivia summoned. You're not halting the nuptials, are you? No. I mentioned, your nuptials will be ideal. My crew will ensure it. Then will you attend the rite? You mentioned there was no room, I stated gently, and I have tasks to handle. I proceeded toward my personal lift, leaving them in the entrance of my inn. The nuptials was lovely. I observed from my quarters on the monitoring feeds. Olivia wept during her pledges. Mom dabbed her gaze. The visitors lauded the sight digitally, labeling it the nuptials of the year. None of them realized the proprietor was above, observing silently. Around midnight, Mom rapped on my entrance. Emily, may I enter? I allowed her inside. She surveyed the quarters, larger than the executive one, packed with pieces and a horizon vista. I didn't realize this was here, she murmured. You never inquired, I mentioned. You permitted us to handle you like an outsider. You did that on your own. I simply waited to observe how long it would take you to grasp the reality. She settled, looking diminutive. How long have you possessed this inn? 8 years. I acquired it after disposing of my initial 3 sites. It established my firm Harper International, a frontrunner in upscale inns. 8 years, and we never realized. I attempted to inform you once you switched the topic to Lucas's advancement. We should have paid attention. Yes, I mentioned. You should have. Ethan's dad searched you online. She mentioned he discovered the Forbes piece. You're valued at $3 billion. 3.7. I mentioned. He began weeping. We informed you that you weren't refined enough for Olivia's nuptials. We made you utilize the back access. I utilized my personal lift. I mentioned you have a landing pad on the top for proprietors and dignitaries. She exhaled. We focused on looks. We shouldn't have. I realized. I mentioned softly. You prize position over kin. Emily, you're severing us. I'm selecting tranquility. I'll be journeying new in Dubai than South America. I'm putting resources in folks who appreciate me. She dabbed her tears. When I spotted you this evening, I grasped I never understood who you turned into, and I was humiliated. You could have understood. I mentioned I requested you to launches and events. You disregarded them. She assented gradually. The executive Olivia's in. It's lovely. Thank you. Can I view the remainder of the inn tomorrow? I'll have my overseer guide you. I'll be in Singapore. She paused. Emily, I'm apologetic. I realize I mentioned. Good night, Mom. A week afterward, the tale spread widely. Fiancé omits improprietor sibling from nuptials at her own site. Every primary source covered it. My device overflowed with discussion pleas. I overlooked them. Mom and Olivia contacted countless times. I never responded. Olivia shared a communal regret, then removed it. 6 months afterward, I launched my Dubai inn. Mom attempted to join. Guards refused her. A year afterward, Lucas's outfit was engaged to review one of my sites. He messaged me. I didn't grasp how vast your firm was. Can we converse? I related to my finance head. Locate another outfit. 2 years afterward, Time featured me on the front. The tycoon you've never encountered. Olivia dispatched blooms. I'm so apologetic. Please pardon us. I contributed them to a haven. As certain attendee rosters reveal your position, and certain structures reveal what you've constructed when nobody trusted in you. Olivia had her ideal nuptials in an inn she believed was possessed by another. But genuine achievement isn't about being requested. It's about constructing something so vast that others must request a place at your spread. I constructed 47 of them, and none of them had room for folks who only perceived my value after searching my name.